Welcome to There's Always Hope radio broadcast with Helen Blocker-Adams, a weekly 15-minute commentary that addresses social issues challenging and impacting the fabric of our lives each day. Straight talk on the issues, transforming people and communities. Helen is on a mission from God to energize people to make a difference in their own lives and the lives of others. So now, join Helen for today's There's Always Hope radio broadcast.
We haven't forgotten, but we have forgotten. No, we haven't forgotten the horror of that day. Thousands, perhaps millions all over the world took time last Sunday, the 10th anniversary, to remember, to reflect, to think about what they were doing when terrorists crashed hijacked planes into the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and then a fourth plane that crashed into a field in rural western Pennsylvania. I remember where I was. I was sitting in my office at the computer. I didn't have a radio on at the time. One of my friends, who also had a business in the same building I worked at, came in my office and said, "The Twin Towers in New York City were hit." I said, "What do you mean hit?" He said, "A plane hit them." And then I responded by saying, "Was it an accident?" He says, "I don't know." And within minutes, the whole building was abuzz. Someone brought a television into the main common area, and the rest of the day, off and on, we were transfixed in front of that television, like so many people all over the world on that day. No, we haven't forgotten, but we have forgotten. It is amazing how time flies. You know, it doesn't seem like 10 years. But then again, for someone who had a loved one to perish in that tragedy, it may seem like it was yesterday. What a terrible loss of lives, all happening at one time. Thousands converged on Ground Zero at the newly opened memorial for a tribute. The president said, "God is our refuge and strength," and he most certainly is. President Obama read from Psalm 46 at exactly 8:46 a.m. when the first jetliner slammed into the North Tower 10 years ago. He invoked the presence of God as an inspiration to endure. And he said, "Therefore, we will not fear, even though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea." The New York ceremony was the centerpiece of a day of remembrance all over the globe. It gave people a chance to reflect on a decade that changed American life, at least some parts of American life. 2 wars and the overhaul of everyday security at American airports and in big cities. At the Pentagon, Defense Secretary Leon Panetta observed a moment of silence at exactly 9:37 a.m., marking the time a jet struck the center of the nation's military. He paid tribute to 6,200 members of the U.S. military who have died in the Iraq and Afghan wars. 6,200. A crowd of 5,000 people listened to a reading of the names of 40 passengers and crew who were killed aboard the plane a decade ago. Now, this took place in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, where the Flight 93 National Memorial, although it's still incomplete, is located. In New York, family members began reading the names of 2,983 victims. 2,977 killed in New York, Washington, and Pennsylvania on September 11, 2001. And the 6 people who were killed in the first terror attack on the Trade Center. Remember the truck bomb in 1993? New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg opened the ceremony of remembrance and said, "Although we can never unsee what happened here, we can also see that children who lost their parents have grown into young adults. Good works have taken root in public service," unquote. Now, I have a few things to say about this statement, and I will come back to it in just a moment. But I read article after article about last Sunday's memorial tributes. There was one comment made by a young man, 17 years old, who was only 6 when he lost his father on 9/11. He said he never wanted to attend the anniversary because he thought he would feel angry. But after arriving at the newly opened memorial, he didn't feel that way at all. The young man said, and I quote, "It was time to be a big boy. Time to not let things hold you back. Time to just step out into the world and see how things are," unquote. Now let's park here for just a moment. How many of us have allowed anger and fear to paralyze us and hold us back? I have known people who have held grudges for years, oftentimes not even recalling what the original source of the anger was all about. What a shame, isn't it? We only have one life. Why waste it being angry all the time? Now, maybe the anger is justified, okay? And you may not be able to deal with it by yourself. Well, that's the time when you dive into the Word, meditate, pray, and take it directly to the Lord. You know, there still is a lot of good in the world. It really and truly is. And that's what the 17-year-old young man was saying. He realized that he simply couldn't live his life in fear because that isn't healthy. He wants to live and see what the world is all about. Have you ever traveled out of the country? If you get a chance, I highly recommend you do that. As a military brat, I had the privilege of traveling. I have lived all over the world. An exhilarating experience, indeed. Set aside some money, set yourself a goal of where you would like to go, and make it a point to travel to another country in 2012. You will be so glad you did. It's a life-changing experience. Let's take a quick commercial break. Thomas & Thomas Design, a forward-thinking design company, specializes in creating strong web branding for nonprofit ministries, churches, and small businesses. And by the way, when you go to my website, you'll know his signature is on there, okay? The team at Thomas & Thomas Design has over 25 years of experience. They really love working with organizations that want high-quality web and photography services, okay? Visit their website today at thomasandthomasdesign.com. That's thomasandthomasdesign.com. Now, I want to go back now to something that I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. The comment where Mayor Bloomberg said that, and I quote, "good works have become rooted in public service," unquote. Yes, we will never forget 9/11. But yet we have forgotten. And I know you're probably saying, what does she mean by that? Do you recall the incredible sense of community, family, togetherness that took place for days and even months after that horrible event? Communities rallied together and raised money. People who didn't look alike began talking to each other instead of at each other. There was like a renewing of wedding vows in a way. People made commitments to be kinder to each other, to tolerate people who were different than themselves, to learn how to be a friend. Even our politicians seem to get along better. They worked together. It was like the synergy of a successful football team that's gone all the way to the Super Bowl and won. We Americans were winners. We acted like winners. What I described, this took place last Sunday too. It was like time stood still. We recaptured the moment one day, 10 years later. And my question is, why can't this synergy always be embraced? Why does it have to be a tragedy that brings people from all walks of life together? It's a question we can't resolve in today's broadcast. I know that, but I wanted to bring it up just to give you something to think about. We have forgotten in many ways how to tolerate each other, how to be kind to one another, how to listen more and talk less, how to not judge, how to give a person the benefit of the doubt. We have forgotten that we are the head and not the tail. Alrighty now, we're going to switch gears, and you know what? I want to let you know that I am coming to your city soon. Yes, I am. And I would love the opportunity to come and meet you. Okay. I'm planning a radio tour this fall and early next year. I want you to visit my website, HelenBlockerAdams.com. That's HelenBlockerAdams.com for dates and times and locations. And I would love the opportunity to get a chance and meet you. Okay. Wouldn't that be cool? Yes, yes, yes. Now, I also want to let you know that I'm available for speaking engagements, okay? If you have a women's program, church, social organization, or youth group, how about you're planning a conference or a convention? I'd love the opportunity to come and speak, okay? My current speaking topic is It's Gonna Be All Right. What do you think about that? It's a powerful message that the Lord gave me, and it's guaranteed to make an impact. Contact me. Go to my website, HelenBlockerAdams.com. That's HelenBlockerAdams.com. Shoot me an email, and let's see if we can make this happen, okay? Now, there's something else that I wanted to chat about just for a second. I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, and it's my youth leadership conferences. We would love to bring one of these to your city as well. It's called Unlikely Allies Emerging Leaders Conference 2011. Now, this conference is designed for middle and high school students. Okay, we develop emerging leaders using proven systems and techniques relevant to 21st century youth. We teach young people how to discover who they are and how to feel better about themselves, how to change how they think and act. We also help address and teach social skills. We help them identify their talents and skills so that they can use them to impact others and help stimulate career interest in some of the country's cutting-edge industries. You know, we've had 6 conferences here in the Georgia area, and we've served, well over 200 youth, and we would like to come to your city. Visit my website at www.HelenBlockerAdams.com. Would love for you to come and, let me know if you'd be interested in this particular conference. We'd love to come to your city. Listen, I've enjoyed today's commentary. I hope you have too. We will see you next week. Yes, we will, on the radio.
You have a dream to make an impact on your community, but you need help to make it happen. The Barner Group is an economic and community development firm specializing in providing strategic alternatives to public-private financing. They serve cities, counties, nonprofits, private businesses, and schools. Visit thebarnergroup.com. No matter where you are, they really can help your dreams come true. For more information, visit thebarnergroup.com.
It takes a special person and company to provide care that allows people in their golden years to live with dignity. Golden Rule Healthcare Agency provides companion care and personal care, even Alzheimer's care, dementia, and Parkinson's care. Visit their website at goldenrulehca.com. Licensed to do business in 8 states, they are ready to serve your needs, committed to providing quality and professional care. Services just like the Golden Rule, recently designated as a provider for home care services for employees of Savannah River Nuclear Solutions. Contact Golden Rule Healthcare Agency today.
You have been listening to There's Always Hope radio broadcast with commentator Helen Blocker Adams. Brought to you by the Southeast Enterprise Institute and Golden Rule Healthcare Agency. If you have comments or would like more information, please visit HelenBlockerAdams.com or visit her Facebook page, There's Always Hope radio broadcast. If you would like to support our efforts, you can make a contribution on our website. Thank you, and we will see you on the radio next time on There's Always Hope radio broadcast with Helen Blocker Adams.